Good evening. Right, this is Nana needs to put a few things straight. Nana said on the last Bibli thing. Sorry, hold on till I close the window. Yes. Now, Lana said in the last Bibli thing about Leviticus and how it's still being used today. Nana cited an African country, and she said she thought it was what you call it, Nigeria. But it wasn't Nigeria. I wasn't talking about Nigeria. I meant Uganda, because they're the ones, they're the blockers with the trouble at the moment, and they're anti-gay. Kill the Gay bills, it's called. Anyway, it's just gone through Parliament. Great news for all of us. But the point I'm trying to make is this is just a quick update, if you like. To first of all, apologise for my mistake. It wasn't Nigeria, it's Uganda. And secondly, to tell you a little bit about it. Now, some of you might believe that this Kill the Gay bill is in an African country where they don't know any better, where they've got their own religion, their own rights and their own culture, etc, etc. Well, all I consider that is, if it is their religion, their own rights and their own culture, etc, etc, to deny gay people human rights, then those rights are not worthy of our respect whatsoever. In fact, we shouldn't even talk about them. Ours are better. And we should try and get them to adopt ours. If indeed we shouldn't impose it on them. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is many people think that this Kill the Gay bill in Uganda, which passed, was on the 24th, the president, Museveni or something like that, some twat anyway, but he signed it on the 24th, I think it was Monday, of February this year. And basically what it says is that if you know a gay person and you don't tell the authorities, then you can get up to 3 to 7 years in jail. Now that means if you're the parent of a gay person, if you're the friend of a gay person, and you've got 24 hours, by the way, between finding out and telling the authorities. You've only 24 hours to do this. Also, it means that if you're a doctor and someone goes in for an HIV test and you find out or they tell you that they're gay or whatever, then you have to report them. So in other words, like the spread of AIDS isn't bad enough in Uganda. Now it's just going to spread even more because people will be afraid of going to be tested. You can't see a psychologist, you can't see a doctor, you can't even see a priest. Not that that's... They just try and screw you anyway, literally. So, the point I'm trying to make is that all of this Ugandan stuff is quite recent in Uganda's history. Up until a few years ago, Ugandans didn't have a problem with gay people. It wasn't looked down by their culture, it wasn't threatening to their culture or anything else. This is all a recent event. Recent, I mean this past 10 years or so. And it's all to do, all of it, not some of it, not incidentally to do with, not sort of to do with, but all of to do with America. And their evangelists or whatever they're called, the evangelicists or whatever they are, the loops, the religious nuts. And not just the religious nuts, but also the political, male, patriarchal nuts. Always, by the way, always Republican Party candidates. Always, because they're off that trolley. They shouldn't even be given the right to be a party. Anyway, let me explain to you the two aspects of this that comes into play. First of all, there's this fellow called Richard Cohen, and he wrote a book called Coming Out Straight. Well now, if you ever saw anyone on television, you'd laugh your knickers off. He's the geekiest, gawkiest looking thing in his life. He's ex-gay, by the way, ex-gay. He's no longer gay. He's married with 3 children. He must have adopted them, because there's no way this fella created children. No way on God's earth did this fella give children life. No way. He took them from an orphanage in Romania or somewhere. Anyway, he's the geekiest, ugly looking tunt that you can find on this planet. He's now ex-gay. The reason he's ex-gay, you and I both know, or you would know if you saw his video, is simply because he couldn't get a man. No self-respecting man would go with him. No self-respecting gay homosexual man would have anything to do with him. Well, my Elizabeth saw him, she said, "Oh my God, will you look at the state of that? I wouldn't piss on the elbows on fire." Anyway, Lucy was very extreme, or Lucy, as she now calls herself, thanks to our Paula. She's been renamed. I have to call him she now, well, not he apparently. Sweet Jesus. Anyway, This Richard Cohen, he wrote a book called Coming Out. Oh, by the way, he's an ex-Mooney. Not a religious nut. Not a religious organisation, a Mooney. He's an ex-Mooney, ex-gay, and he's married and have a kid. So he's developed this whole huge business on coming out and where he beats pillows with tennis rackets and everything else. But the best thing is, for part of his therapy is, he gets young blokes in his office, right? Young, good-looking blokes, because otherwise he wouldn't get them in. He's obviously paying them. And he's sitting there. The shot I saw of him in the video, oh God help me, he's sitting there with an obvious erection, and he's just looking at this man. He's not even touching him at the moment. And next thing, he calls the young fellow over, and the young fellow has to lie in his arms, and he caresses him and strokes him. Well, I'm sure he's coming. I'm sure he's coming when he's talking to the camera, because he's that look about him. Anyway, apparently, this is how to get rid of the gay, how to cure yourself being gay. Lie in another man's arm on the couch with an erection on them, and hope and pray to God that all they do is stroke you. Anyway, this tunt wrote a book, as I said, Coming Out Straight, which the American evangelists, I can't say that word, the loops in American history, American religion, have exported to Uganda. In fact, his organisation went there and had a Pray a Gay the Way workshop a few years ago in Uganda, and that is what led directly to Ugandans kill the gay bill, directly to it after. It was after that workshop that your man Bahati, or whatever his name is called, he's another one, I'll talk about him in a minute. He was the minister who put that bill in place directly after that workshop. Now, funny enough, this Richard Cohen, he's a fringe element, he's a loop. He didn't have money to invade Uganda and sell his product as shit or whatever. But he was helped by crazy wingnuts like Scott Lively, you know, one of the American crazy religious people. Scott Lively funded him as well. But not only that, there's a group in America called, it's a conservative organisation. They have a house on C Street. It's called C Street House, and it's called The Family. Sherlock, a bloke called Sherlock, did a whole series on it. He did a book on it called The Family. Sherlock is an editor with Harper's Magazine, so he's very well informed. And he infiltrated this family organisation, if you like, undercover sort of thing, and he was there for more than a year. And it's basically a place where Republican senators go to live, have sex and debauch each other probably, but certainly debauch people from society. It's like a man's club, if you like. And all the major Republican scandals, all of them, in 2009, Sanford and the likes of that, they were all associated with the family. They all took place in the family house on C Street. It's called C Street. You should go there. It's a fabulous place. Anyway, we're talking about major players here. You know, we're talking about Todd Tiahart. He was cancelled there. Todd Tiahart was cancelled. And when he was told by the leader of the family, by the way, that men like Bin Laden, Hitler, Lenin, people like that they were the real men of this world, that they were the men who knew how to wield power. This is the sort of religious organisation this is. It's all about making the powerful more powerful. This bloke, also the leader, and Jeff Charlotte heard him say this, he was also talking one day and he asked one of the group, he said to them, say you raped 3 young girls, what would I think of you? And the group member, being a civilized person, said, you think I was some sort of an animal? And the leader of the family turned around and he said, no I wouldn't. No I wouldn't. He says, because you're part of the family. Your powers go beyond that of normal man. You can do things that you don't have to be accountable for. That's the sort of people who run the family, right? And there's major political players involved with it. Not just involved, they live there. It can house up to 8 people at one time. And there's always Republican senators living there. And generally, the ones that are in a scandal. Yeah? Like John Ensign was there. Tom Coburn was there. Mark Stanford was there. Those senators. Senator Jim DeMont was there. Who else? Senator Sam Brumbach was there. James Inhofe was there. Tom Coburn, as I said, was there, and Ensign. And funny enough, these are all, and Joe Pitt, Joe Pitts was there, and also so was Bart Stupak, right? They're all part of this family and they all live there. But they're all people that's been very, very influential in Ugandan politics. Basically with a view to sort of going there, and they have gone there, and saying things like stop abstinence is the best, not condom use. So that they're actually promoting the use or the burning of the lack of use of condoms, the burning of condoms. And of course Ugandan has a bad enough AIDS crisis. Now take away the condoms, it's got to get much worse, and take away the fact that with this new law, which has just been passed, the Kill the Gays bill, no one can go for medical help, so it will be spread even further. So nice job, gentlemen, all from America, all from America. Ugandans haven't got the wherewithal, no harm to them, but they haven't got the wherewithal to organise this sort of anti-gay bill, which they have done. And the family, by the way, is directly linked. The whole house, even the house, the whole association is linked to Uganda. The minister who brought in this bill, after that famous Richard Cohen's prayer meeting thing, was called David Bahati, B-A-H-A-T-I. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I don't give a fluck. He's a minister in the Ugandan parliament, and he's made sure that this bill has gone through the president, and eventually it was signed, as I said, last Monday the 24th of February. Now when Bahati is in America, he goes and he stays in the family house. He is in fact the main representative of the American Family Society in Uganda. So they are totally 110% behind this anti-gay bill. Now they won't come out and say it because they're afraid the lights are all running now. Also, not so fringy pastors like what you call him? Oh, that